There's so much to talk about. Let's start out here, Noah, with just a quick discussion about the two biggest names in football with the biggest news going on right now, Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp. Let's figure out what we're going to do. Some people have a couple drafts left before Thursday night, so let's start with Jonathan Taylor. So we know that he was not traded to any team. He's going to stay in Indianapolis for now. Some people are speculating that this was a soft deadline for the trade and people are going to try to come later on. He may go to another team later, but don't forget that Jonathan Taylor is on the PUP list. So no matter what happens, he's missing the first 4 games regardless. There's still a chance he holds out. You had him, Noah, out of your top 20 because you were such a firm believer in this statistic about quarterbacks that rush for 500 yards don't produce strong running backs. Now, JT could have been the outlier the way that Saquon Barkley was with Daniel Jones last year. But this is so tricky. And for the record, if anyone is curious at all about the running back situation without JT, Deion Jackson's going to be the week 1 starter. And when Zach Moss is back in week 2 or 3, it's going to be a committee between the two per their head coach. And after that, whenever JT is back, if he's back, that's going to be the situation. I want to point out, and then leave this to you. So I am in a Yahoo league with some friends of mine. Jonathan Taylor's ADP has dropped to the 7th round. People are actually taking this so seriously. So at what point do we say that's a steal? Because if he's the way that we think he was going to be this season, draft him. Or is this just avoid him altogether?
It's really tough. So I'll also say in my work league on Sleeper, I mean, his ADP did not drop, but he was not drafted until I think it was the 6th or 7th round because and the guy that took him just went, are we risking it? Like what do we do here? I mean, he had already got 2 running backs for his roster, and he was like, I mean, I guess we just take it, and if he comes back, he comes back. I was already out. I mean, he could fall to the 12th round for me, and I would go, I think I want to take Bigsby instead. I think I'd rather have Tank Bigsby on this team. I don't want to waste. I don't like wasting draft picks, and so for me personally, I'm not going to be the one that takes the shot. I'm not going to go. Yeah, sure, he's in the 6th round now. Do I take him here? And I may be a little biased because for me personally, I still already did not believe. So either way, I was out on Jonathan Taylor. At this point, I still think he's a waste of a draft pick. And I think there are better people that you can grab. Even in a Yahoo league in the 7th round, there are players like Zay Flowers or Samaje Perine is probably going around there. You could reach on Raheem Mostert in the 7th round and grab him instead of somebody like that.
I'm worried he's going to hold out.
It's a very frustrating situation.
That's where I stand.
That's my thought too. Because there's a business side of this that is the Colts left him on the PUP list. The Colts left him there. He is I believe the business side of it is he can miss obviously these 4 games, and then I believe he is due his salary even if he holds out at this point because he is starting the season on the PUP. So I don't even think I don't think he's going to play. I don't think he will play. I don't know. Maybe they end up trading him before week 8. Maybe he's a trade deadline move and he goes somewhere in the second half of the year. Maybe he does great numbers or whatever. Is it worth it at that point? I don't know. Is it? I just don't think it is at that point. So Jonathan Taylor, I'm still probably not drafting him even.
The most I may even consider is, let's say I've done all my mock drafts and I've got like 3 players like in the 7th round or wherever that he ends up landing in your site, whatever league you draft in, and all the players that I want are gone, and JT's there. What I would consider, if this is something like a 6th, 7th round pick, I may take him and then trade him by week 3.
Sure.
And just let someone else try to give me higher pieces try to sell the value of JT like, oh, this is an MVP candidate just 2 years ago, and now he's got Anthony Richardson to help take the load off it. Try to pitch it so that I can make a sell, and then boom, I'm get some value in return. But I think he holds out. I don't think he's going to play this entire season, and I do think it's too scary. Let's jump over to the next superstar who is also a first-round talent, someone else that is also dropping into the second, third, even fourth round. Cooper Kupp is dealing with a serious hamstring injury. This is the second time this offseason that his hamstring injury has sidelined him. This one is so bad that he actually took a flight to Minnesota to see a specialist so that a doctor could figure out what the root of the cause was, and he is, per Sean McVay, day to day. Now, obviously he's down for week 1. This is such an extreme risk, injury-wise, and I'm going to share with you, and then I want to hear how you feel, because he was my wide receiver 5 going in, but he was your number 1 pick, really. He was your wide receiver 1, given the Kupp-Stafford marriage we're used to. I have a friend, I live in Los Angeles, I have a friend who knows a sports analyst that is connected with the Rams. And he was saying that this type of injury is prone to flaring up often, and there really is no remedy. So this also feels like I'm not going to risk it. Now, this risk for me, he's going to be the wide receiver 1 every week that he plays, but how many weeks is he going to play? Where do you stand? Because you were far more high on him than I think anybody else in fantasy was.
Yeah, no, I mean, he will be the top scoring wide receiver in fantasy football when he is on the football field. I don't know when that is, and I don't think that will be too frequently this year. So I'm out. I had an opportunity in our draft on Saturday, Wes. I had a chance to take Cooper Kupp with the 7th overall pick in our league. I opted to go with A.J. Brown. I picked A.J. Brown over Cooper Kupp in our league and felt good, and I feel good because I just don't want to. I don't want to risk it. I don't know when he's going to be back. This thing is something that twice in a month has flared up. I don't feel good about it, and so he's not a guy that I'm rushing to grab in drafts and be able to take and have for my leagues. It's just not something I am interested in. I heard somebody talking about it, and I can't remember who it was, but they were saying there's a reality where maybe he misses the first month, and maybe the Rams go 0-4. And if the Rams go 0-4, and Cooper Kupp may not be fully healthy and ready to come back, I don't think the Rams are going to risk bringing back Cooper Kupp just to try and win some games if they're already 0-4. I don't think as a team you make up your mind that early on, all right, well, we're 0-4, so the season's over. I don't think that's the case, but if they're not winning games, I don't think they will rush to bring him back.
They did this with Aaron Donald.
So that's what I'm...
Last year.
Right, exactly. That is the Aaron Donald. They did this with Cooper Kupp last year. Cooper Kupp was cleared to come back and play around like week 13, and they were like, yeah, there's no reason. Like, there's no point. There's no reason to. Yeah. Let's just keep him out. I'm just, the whole thing worries me, and I am so disappointed that my guy, my number one wide receiver, it is just playing out like this, because I was so excited for Cooper Kupp to have a comeback year. I thought he was going to win comeback player of the year. I was really excited for this, and now it is just playing out really poorly. So I'm out on Cooper Kupp. And
I like how you phrased it last year, where football is better when Cooper Kupp plays. It's not going to be quite as great this season because it doesn't feel like the Kupp's going to play too much. Here on 4th and Troll Fantasy, we're going to say skip Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp. They're too risky. Don't draft them. And if you already have them, I'm sorry, try to trade them ASAP.